Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday night Band of Brothers call. We have a newbie as far as it's going to be his first time speaking to us. So I'm excited to hear his story and what he has to share with us. But before we do that, just going to let everybody know that there's 9 days left until we all get together at the Sheraton Sand Key Beach Resort for April's DE. And to let everybody know, the room block is done and there's a waiting list. So if you can't get into the hotel that we're staying at, start searching for ones that are close by. There's one across the street. And then these are the rest of the dates for the year. The summer is July 16th to the 19th, and we're at the Atlanta Marriott Perimeter. And then October 22nd to the 25th, and again at the Atlanta Marriott Perimeter Center. Always fun places to be. I love Atlanta. And we see this, connect groups. Hope you're talking to them. Hope you're getting some good information for everybody or just sharing someone. Even if you have a few from the group that you talk to that can help you out through the time between one D to the next. It's just awesome to know that we're connected. So as I said, it is Dr. Tyler Rose's first time speaking to us for a Tuesday night call, but he's been coming to us in person as a student. He he works with Dr. Andy in Dr. Andy's office. He was introduced to chiropractic by Dr. Andy, and also Dr. Scott were inspiration for him to go to chiropractic school. He married the woman of his life, his heart, in October. So he's a newlywed, and I'm sure he has a lot to share with us. So take it away, Dr. Tyler.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Tyler Rose. Thank you for having me tonight. I hope everybody can take something from take away something that I speak about tonight. So let's jump into it. So why am I a chiropractor? How did I find out about chiropractic? Well, Dr. Harding has been my chiropractor ever since I was a little kid. And my mom has brought me to him and to get adjusted, to get clear, and to live life to my fullest. And he's definitely helped me through a lot of, injuries or sports injuries. And he's even helped him, and Dr. Scott Lowe helped my brother through a very tough time during his birthing process. My brother was born with torticollis severely, and they wanted to do surgery on his neck before he left the hospital. And my mom said, no, absolutely not. I don't want to do that. So, and then after mom got him out of the hospital, took him straight to Dr. Harding and Dr. Lowe, and they were able to adjust him frequently and show different exercises and stretches to do to help keep my brother's neck upright and to avoid surgery at all cost. So very thankful for them helping my brother out and helping me out and my family as we've grown. And, the big joke was Andy would always say whenever I'd come in and get adjusted throughout high school and grade school and high school was, why don't you go to school and become a chiropractor and come work for me? And, I was like, I don't know. I don't know if that's what I wanted to do. And lo and behold, fast forward to my first year of college. I went to Benedictine College for a year, and while I was there, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to help people, and I just didn't know what that looked like in the health field. So I was continuing to go get adjusted by Dr. Harding and the staff there periodically while I was in school. I talked to him more, and then my mom heard a broadcast of, they had an open house at Cleveland Chiropractic College, which is pretty close to our home, 30 minutes away. So I went and checked it out and, talked to Dr. Cleveland and his story, listened to his story about his family and everything. And I was like, I think this is what I want to do. So I went back and talked to Dr. Harding more. and figured out that this is what I wanted to do. And I asked him, I said, "Hey, is there any way possible I could work for you while I'm going to undergrad to get my prerequisites to get into college or the chiropractic college?" And he said, "Absolutely." So I worked for him about 3 years before I went into chiropractic school. And while I was there, I learned a lot about the how to take notes and everything like that, and just watching them adjust people and how chiropractic has changed many people's lives that they've seen throughout the years. It was very inspiring, and it's like, you know, my brother and I've gone through issues in the past with our spine and not being in proper alignment, and sports injuries or whatnot, and even my mom, that was a big story where she went to a batting cage with me one time, and she was swinging away, and next day she woke up and she couldn't even get out of bed. She had a few herniated and bulging discs in her back, and she was able to go to Dr. Harding and this other chiropractor who does different technique, and she was able to avoid surgery. And if it wasn't for chiropractic, she could have had surgery and had rods in her back or whatnot. And who knows what her story would be now, or where she would be at, and what type of health she'd be in. So very thankful for their guidance and their faith and trust in chiropractic and what they do to help with that. So back to working with Dr. Harding and after school, working with him, and then making it into chiropractic school. Before chiropractic school, while I was working with Dr. Harding, I went to many DEs. One of my first DEs, and it's probably the most memorable, is I went with Dr. Scott. I don't know if you guys remember him. I'm sure you do. He was around a lot. And I've never flown before. And so I went to my first DE, and I've never flown before. And it was just him and I, and we had a great time. And it was in Georgia. So I didn't know what to expect, and it was awesome. I had a great experience. And I went to many DEs since then. DE has really been like my anchor for not only like chiropractic, but my life in general. It's really helped give me clarity, purpose, and have faith in what we do and how it can help people. Because nobody else can do what we can do as chiropractors, and we have to make sure that we are on purpose and we are clear and we have clarity in what we do, so that way we can do what God made us to do. So DE has done a lot for me, has done a lot for my chiropractic life and my personal life. So I thank everyone for sharing and everything that they do at DE. It's definitely changed my life as being, coming up through being a student to a doc now. Things are totally different, and you absorb things differently in different parts of different stages of your life, for sure. And I'm very thankful to be working with Dr. Harding throughout, before school and as now as a doctor. I love it every day. We're always having a great time taking care of our community, and we strive to be the beacon of light in our community, and just love on each and every person that walks through our door. When we do a lot of preparation, and I didn't realize how big preparation was. I mean, I knew it was big when I was a student, but like once you become, graduated and trying to learn how to do chiropractic and give adjustments and give good care and just love on people, that the prep is really important. And I know at DE, we talk about prep a lot. And Andy's, and through DE and Andy and Dr. Lowe, like, prep is everything. And so making sure that you are exercising, making sure that you're eating well, you're drinking plenty of fluids, making sure that your temple is as strong as it can be, making sure your mind's right, making sure you're, writing down goals, writing down your goals for the day, the month, the year. All those things are very important to keep you on task and on purpose. And then doing the breaths. The breaths have been huge. I get on the breaths daily, in the morning and in the 8:45 time. I do that daily. So that's helped me a lot to stay focused and stay on purpose, and make sure I'm clear in between the ears, so that way I can take care of whoever God sends to that door. And and I'm so thankful for DE to be the foundation of chiropractic and just how we can live our lives. It's been very helpful and powerful. So and even when we're doing the breaths, we get together before the shift, and we do the breaths. And one of the main things that I talk about during the breaths is, God, just allow you to work through me. Allow me just to be that hollow vessel. Guide me in my thoughts. Guide me in my words. Guide me in my actions. Guide me in my adjustment. Be with me today as I take care of your children. And bless everyone that walks through our door. And allow us just to be that beacon of light and that peace and that love bubble for our community. Because people are under a lot of stress, whether they know it or not. And most people do. But we have to make sure that we do the prep so that way we can withstand the people that come in, and we can give them the best care possible, not only through the adjustment, but loving on each and every person that comes to that door, and being the hope and just love for people. Because, there may be someone that walks through your door. You may be the only encounter that person has, or you may be the only hug that person ever gets that day. Or you may be the only person they're able to encounter that is in person. So it's important that we're on task. So talking about working alongside Andy, it's been amazing. I've learned a lot in my 2 years, and we just celebrated my 2 years of practicing with a license this past April 1st. So it's been amazing. I've learned a lot. I've gone from seeing 5 patients a day to seeing over 200, 300 at one time. So it's just, I've learned a lot, and I'm thankful for DE, and I'm thankful for Dr. Harding and showing me what chiropractic is. One thing that I remember when I was in school, before I was a doc, I would come in periodically to get adjusted, and there was just something about Dr. Harding and Dr. Lowe when they were adjusting, and I would you'd sit in the waiting room and you can just hear and feel the love and the connection in the air, and then you get back there, and then they would adjust you, and they would, it felt like it was a long time, but it really wasn't. It was only maybe a couple minutes, because they had an intention. And I was like, man, I don't know how they do what they do. How do they stay on purpose? I didn't even know how to explain it. But after going to DE all these years and then seeing it as a doctor, like, it was because of DE. They did the prep. They did the breaths. They did, they wrote down their goals. They were on purpose. They were connected. And they gave that person that was on the table their 100% attention and intention with their adjustment to allow that person to heal and just to feel their love and their healing power within them that being expressed. And I really feel like that is what I try to portray that. And I hope I do as best I can. I try to work on it every day. And I really feel like that is why people keep coming back. And well, obviously because people are getting clear and they're getting results too. But that love connection, that connection you build with that person with each adjustment. I remember one time here, Dr. Scott was pretty sick, and it was towards the end of his life. I was practicing at that time, and he called the office and said, hey, are you making house calls yet? And I laughed and I said, I haven't had any yet, but I can come check in. He goes, yes, I want you to come check me. I feel off. I said, okay, I'll be over after I get off work. So after I got done adjusting patients and I left the office, I went to his house, and he didn't even come answer the door. He had someone else helping him. They answered the door and let me in, and I went into his bedroom, and he was just sitting there, and I could tell he was just kind of uneasy, just kind of off. Um, his eyes were kind of glazed over, and he talked to me a little bit and asked me how I was doing, and I was like, doing great, just here to check you. Let's check you. So I just got as quiet as I possibly could, just let God work through me, and I adjusted him, and I could just feel I could see and feel the release that it gave him, and I could just see his face and everything just melt away, and he was at peace, and he was at ease. And he didn't really say much after the adjustment. He said that I needed that, and then he kind of drifted off into sleep, and I left. And so I'm very thankful to be able to return the favor and to adjust him before he passed. So, and I'm very thankful to be able to adjust Dr. Harding too. Um, I've always wanted to adjust him, and being able to return the favor after he's adjusted me all these years, it's a privilege. I absolutely love it. I want to talk a little bit about some of the office goals and some of my goals that I had from this previous DE to now, and up to this next DE next week. My goals were to have more intention with my adjustments, and to get more people to the doctor's report or doctor's talk. And I made emphasis on that. And so with each new patient we have, I make sure we schedule them for the doctor's talk, and that they get there as soon as possible after the first visit. And I feel like, there was times before where we would try to get people and they wouldn't come, and we would make a very emphasis on getting them there. And I may have one or two, maybe even 4 or 5 a month, maybe. But now that we've made more of an emphasis on it and actually getting the people there, I've actually had, 3 to 4, maybe even a week. So, and I really wanted to make the impact on people, because if we're not telling them the story, who is? People need to know the story about chiropractic. A lot of people think it's just about pain. It's not about pain. Pain can be clear gone, but that person will still have that subluxation robbing them of life slowly, right? So making sure that we educate. Education is key, and trying to make sure that the person understands what we're trying to do and how we're trying to help them be clear, live a better quality of life, and just live life like they should. And then making sure that the next thing was with intention in our adjustments, making sure that our mind is clear, making sure that we've done the prep work, making sure that we're all in focused on that person. Nothing else matters around us, and being focused. And sometimes in our office that can be hard, and I'm sure other people's offices too. Things get loud, kids start running in, and things get loud and hectic, but we got to just focus in and be in present time consciousness, as Dr. Harding and Andy has said. Present time consciousness. Just give, love, and serve on that person as they're on your table, with 100% certainty in what we're doing. So DE has definitely been the anchor for me and in my life. And without DE, I have no idea where I would be. I would probably be lost somewhere trying to do something else that's probably not chiropractic, and I would drift far, far away. So, like a boat without an anchor, if your boat doesn't have an anchor, you're going to drift, right? And we got to make sure that we continue to come back to DE. That way we re-anchor ourselves and we get back on purpose and back to where we need to be, so that way we can serve our communities bigger and better each and every time that we do. Last thing here, I had a church service a couple weeks ago, and this sermon really, I felt like it was really just pointing towards me. And the pastor was really talking right at me. So they talked about prayer and position. Pray and do what you can to get into position so God can answer the prayer. Prayer and preparation. Get yourself ready to receive. Prayer and patience. Are you willing to be faithful day in and day out? And then the last one, prayer and purpose. Use me to save others. And that's basically what we are saying when we say in the breast, God, allow me to be the hollow vessel. Use me to save other people, to reconnect them to man and woman, the spiritual, to man and woman, the physical. And just so that way they can express life at their fullest. So prayer and position, making sure we're getting in the correct position so God can use us, right? Prayer and preparation, so that way our mind and body is right and where it needs to be. Prayer and patience, making sure that, things might not be where they need to be or where we want them to be at the time being, but keep working towards it, keep striving towards it, and just continue to have that faith day in and day out that just keep priming the pump, sowing seeds, planting seeds, and then prayer and purpose to use me to save others. That's all I've got tonight. I appreciate you I appreciate you all, and I love and appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you at this next DE.
Wow, Tyler, how blessed are you that your actual foundation as a chiropractic student was so anchored, because that's the word you use a lot, with having Dr. Andy and Dr. Scott right with you to go on that journey, that you saw the possibilities from the get-go. You are definitely blessed by that.
Amen. Amen to that. I sure am.
Yeah. And I'm sure that by having that blessings of them, that you will also be a great mentor to someone else that's a student that's close by, because you see the growth that their potential by living it yourself. I think that's awesome. Yeah. I appreciate you. And I am so grateful that as a newbie, you shared a great message with us. Be in prayer and be ready and be prepared, because your time is coming. Amen. I love and appreciate you.
Love and appreciate you too.
Have a good night and can't wait to see you in Clearwater. Yoo-hoo!
You guys there.
Bye-bye.
Bye.